I'm hoping I'm doing this right. Because I've never done live through YouTube before. And so I'm doing it through YouTube right now, and I don't see anybody coming in, and I hope it went directly to my page. It's hard to tell. So I'm hoping somebody will join and tell me. Let me see. Looks like it's mine. So what I'm trying to do is I'm taking you through, you know, I live in a really beautiful city. Gosh, I hope everybody can hear me too. Let me try to turn that up just in case. I live in Northwest Washington, which in a city called Bellingham. It's a pretty large city. I'm gonna take you guys through there, and then I'm gonna take you over to the ferry terminal, and you're gonna see this large Alaska ferry that my dad worked on for 23 years. And I was born and raised in Ketchikan, Alaska. And so this ferry has a lot of fond memories for me. I'd been taking that ferry several times a year for like my entire life. So for like the first 19 years of my life. So I'm going to take you and show you that, but I'm also going to show you where, if anybody remembers this from like 20 years ago, the DC snipers actually originated their trek here in Bellingham. I'm going to show you where they met, because it's just literally like a block or two from me right now. So I'll show you that, and then I'll take you over to the ferries. Alright, so it looks like we got people coming in. I'm gonna start driving. I'm gonna reverse the camera so you guys can see. I'm hoping, can you all chat? Can somebody like put a 1 in the chat? I want to make sure the chat's working. If you guys can. Let's see. Okay, there we are. Hey, Sim Racing. Hey, Brennan Ho. Sim Racing, I am I'm going to take you guys on a little drive to show you a couple things in my city. I live in Northwest Washington. The first place we're going to go is I'm going to show you the Lighthouse Mission, where the DC snipers, they originally started their trek. That was, 20 years ago. And then I'm going to take you through town a little bit. You'll see how pretty my city is. And then I'm going to take you to the ferry terminal where you guys can see the Alaska ferry. So if there's any mods in the chat, can you, you know, kind of watch the chat if you can? I'd appreciate it. And I'm gonna flip this around and we'll get going. Hopefully you can see okay here. And I'm not gonna be paying attention to chat because I'm driving. I'm trying to get a good angle for you guys. All right, off we go. Okay, so coming up here on the left, I'll get up a little bit closer. It's kind of this colorful building here on the left by the Chevron station. That was called the Lighthouse Mission. And that was where the DC snipers started their trek, was right there. I think it's something else. But yeah, that's it right there. All right, and off we go. Now we're heading into downtown Bellingham.
The 4th of July may be over, but the savings aren't. Morganbury has extended its 4th of July sale to only through this Sunday. You've been waiting for the right time.
And right here, right directly in front of us, this is, or used to be, the old Georgia Pacific. It was a pulp mill. They have renovated it, and they've, you know, made it into like a park. There's restaurants down there. It's really a pretty cool place. And then kids can go biking. There's like sand piles. Just let me know if the volume's okay.
Market president and general manager of the Pacific Northwest Media Group with a look at some good news in our community that we like to call the upside.
Whatcom County Teachers Chief Undo Biz and Beverly Williams received Educator of the Year awards and $5,000 prizes. Also, band director Janet Kern was presented with a special $5,000 award. His dedication and perseverance despite suffering major impact from recent floodings. The $5,000 awards are split with half going to the educators and half for use in their schools. Thanks to Brown & Brown Insurance Services for hiring these educators and creating this good news. Imagine never folding family laundry again. Ferndale Laundry makes it disappear like magic. Leave your bags on the porch. They pick them up and return everything 24 hours later. Perfectly clean and dry ready. Claim your life with Ferndale Laundry. Saving time keeps you clean.
If you have news, email us at the upside at bnwmedia.com.
I'm hoping everybody can hear me okay. All right, so we're heading into one of the districts of Bellingham called Fairhaven. Bellingham has several of them. There's Fairhaven, Seahome, Sunset. But Fairhaven is historic downtown. Welcome to Bellingham sign there that we're just driving by that was on the left. Getting right close to the ferry here, and it's going to be excuse me, on the right. Downtown Fairhaven. this building here on the right, that's Village Books, and it is the coolest bookstore. I love it. This is Old Town Hard. Streets are pretty small. Part of it is cobblestone too. Alright. And the ferry is in dock. So here we go. So this is the Bellingham Cruise Terminal. This is where the Alaska Ferry comes every Friday. But this is the ferry that I basically grew up on. Let me get this. Oops. Turn it off. I'm gonna grab my phone and I'll show it to you guys. And I'm sorry, I don't have like a selfie stick or anything like that, so it's gonna be, you know, shaky till I can get in. And I'm gonna take you guys upstairs so you can see it. But I'll take you around first so you can see outside. So this is the Columbia, and like I said, this is the one that I grew up on. Actually, I might not even have to take you in the terminal if I can get far enough. And the voyage from Ketchikan, Alaska to Bellingham takes about a day and a half, so it takes quite a while. So this is it. And obviously I'm not going on any kind of a trip, so I'm not going to be loud in or nothing. let's see what this sign says. Oh, it looks like it's talking about Fairhaven, where we're at. You can see that a little bit. My dad, when he worked on this ferry, he held a really high position. He was head of the car deck, and because the ferries, they in Alaska, at least especially Southeast Alaska, rely heavily on, or the residents, the people that live there rely heavily on these ferries for transportation, for their mail, for even their home goods, all come pretty much shipped around by these. Even like when I did sports, like when I did basketball, we had to take the ferries, to different, we had to take the ferries to different schools. The different schools were on different islands. We relied on those ferries to transport us. I also competed in choir and traveled around Southeast Alaska in competitions a couple times, and we relied on these ferries to transport us. So because Ketchikan, Alaska, and all like Southeast Alaska is all on islands. So let's see if we can get in. It is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful trip. If you guys, anybody is interested, if you can't afford to take a cruise up to Alaska, you can certainly take the ferry from Bellingham, Washington, and it goes all the way up to, I know it goes all the way up to Skagway, which is all the way up the Panhandle, and then there's ones that I think go somewhere to the coast. Get a higher look at it.
History hopper. I wish I could, because there's no job to do. Because we'll work it out. I have no money, I have nowhere to go. I have all these job opportunities that are out there. I think that's what I think. Compared to here. I promise you, I will do that because that's what I do.
Okay. Here we go. And that right there is the solarium. When I say that right there, it's that slanted roof. The rooms, they're really small. Usually just like a bunk bed or two, a sink, and a shower. And they're pretty costly. So a lot of people, what they'll do, instead of getting a room, you'll either, they pretty much just let people sleep wherever on the ferry. A lot of people will sleep in that solarium. You can tent out there. Or you go, there's like this, I don't remember what they call it. It's like a, mm, it's just a big giant room at the front of the ferry. Like a conference room of sorts, but that's where they will put on shows and stuff, and a lot of people will sleep on there. The coolest thing I can remember as a kid growing up on this is that coming back to the back of the ship, right here, and just watching the waves and watching the porpoises, you know, catch the waves and stuff. It's really fun. Okay. I don't know if I can get any further. Try. One of my dad's jobs was to help also dock the ferry. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's that rope right there above the yellow line. They would throw the rope from the ferry over to the person on the dock and dock it. And, you know, obviously the ropes help hold it in place. But I remember as a kid, once, you know, those ropes they weren't able to use them anymore, my dad would take them and he actually used them for swings. We had this big giant tree in our yard, and it was a boysenberry tree, and he used them for swings when we were kids, so it was pretty cool. This ferry is pretty old, and it is the one that they call like the flagship one. It is the main one that they use to come down to Washington, and this ferry was built in the 70s. They initially started using it to go to Seattle until they built this terminal here in Bellingham. I think it was like 85 or 86. And it's been coming to Bellingham pretty much ever since. There were a few years that it was laid up. It had some, you know, mechanical difficulties. You know, it's an older ship, so, but it is obviously back in working. There is another one called the Kennecott that they also use, but I don't know how much. I kind of feel like that one might be used as like maybe a backup, but this is the main one that comes here. All the others pretty much just go up and down Southeast Alaska. There's a whole fleet of them, but this is the big one, the main one. And like I said, you know, the flagship one that connected from Alaska to Washington. And, you know, in case you didn't know, that's Bellingham Bay. Okay, all right, so I think that's it for now. I'm gonna leave it off there, and I do kind of want to come back hopefully this weekend or next week, and I want to show you guys where the area, at least where Mandy Stavik lived, her Stavik. She was a local, her case was local to me. She went missing and then, you know, a few days later found deceased in like 89 or 90. And then the case wasn't solved until close to 30 years later. But I'm going to show you where she lived, or the area that she lived, and also the courthouse that he was tried at. That courthouse is only like a few blocks from me. And then also the bakery that guy worked at, because that bakery played a huge role in the Mandy Stavik case. So, all right, I am all done, and I will see you guys later on the next one.